Okay, what we're doing right now is all about discovering the law of sines. Okay, so we're going to go through this. This is just the discovery part. I wouldn't make you do this on a test or quiz, this discovery part, but it helps kind of figure out where it comes from. Okay, we're going to sketch the altitude from vertex B. So I go straight down. Altitudes are nice because they meet the other side at 90. Meet the other side. I'm going to zoom this out a little bit. Meet the other side at 90 degrees. Okay, so it makes two right triangles. All right, we're going to label this altitude K. The altitude creates two right triangles inside triangle ABC. Notice that angle A is contained in one right triangle and angle C is contained in the other. Using right triangle trigonometry, write two equations, one involving sine A and one involving sine C. So sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse, right? So sine A would be K is my opposite, C is my hypotenuse. So K over C. Then for sine C, I want to do the opposite over the hypotenuse. So that would be K over A. Okay? Notice that each of these equations in question 3 involves K. Why does this happen? Because K is a shared side for both of them. Okay, that's why it happens. We're not going to write that down now. We're going to solve each equation for K, so that means just timesing what's on the bottom by both sides. So all I did is times that bottom on both sides. Yep. Better? Yeah. Okay, so C sine A equals K and A sine C equals K. All right, since both equations in question 4 are equal to K, they can be set equal to each other. Set each equation to each other. So we're just going to get rid of the K. We're just going to say C sine A equals A sine C. Okay? And there's just one more step. I'm going to divide both sides by the letter in front. So I've got C sine A equals little a sine C. I'm going to divide both sides here by little c. These will cancel. I'm going to divide both sides by little a. And I end up with sine A over little a equals sine C over little c. And once we have that down, we can turn it over. Basically, I've just discovered this equation right here to help me out. Again, we're doing this, guys. We're doing law of sines so that we don't have to have a right triangle for everything, but we can use law of sines to find any missing sides or angles of any kind of triangle, whether it be right or not. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn this over as soon as people are done writing it, and we're going to do the back. Okay, this time we're going to sketch from C. So we're going to make an altitude right here. I'm going to zoom out again a little bit so you guys can see the picture. Make an altitude from C, so I have two right triangles from C. Okay, I'm going to label this K again. And now I'm going to do sine A, so A, that's K over little b, and sine B, that's K over little a. And then I'm doing exactly what I did on the front. Okay? The first thing is to solve each equation for K, so I get little b sine A equals K, and little a, whose ever music is playing, can we turn it off? Because it's really loud, I can hear it up here. Little a sine B equals K. So now I've made, I'm going to zoom in back in again because we're not looking at the picture anymore. Okay? Now I'm going to set both of those equal to each other. Little b, if you don't want me to take that, you put it away. If you do not want me to take it, I'll keep it till the end of the day. Little b sine A equals little a sine B. Put it away. Okay? And then we're going to divide to get the b's on the b side and the a's on the a side. So we've got little b sine A equals little a sine B. And we're going to divide both sides by little b, and these cancel. And we're going to divide both sides by little a, and these cancel. And then I end up with sine a over little a equals sine b over little b. And if we look at the back, we can add sine c over little c to it. So that is our equation. When we do law of sines, we're just going to use 2 out of the 3 of them. So we might be using sine a over little a equals sine b over little b. We might be using sine a over little a equals sine c over little c. Or we might be using sine b over little b equals sine c over little c. Okay, so we're just using 2 out of the 3 of them. Okay, we're going to do an example of one of the problems from your homework, and then you'll have the rest of the hour to work on that. This is going to be the first thing on 4th quarter. Okay, so this homework that I'm giving you right now does not go on 3rd quarter. It goes on 4th quarter. Okay. Yep. I'm going to go ahead and do number 1 right here. So there's kind of a lot of steps for here. I can write the steps down as well. First step is to write little a, b, and c down. They're across from your angles. So this is little a. I'm doing one of your homework problems, so I would do it right now. Little a, little b, little c. Okay? Second step, across from c. Second step is to select part of our equation. Because remember, we're going to only use 2 out of the 3 parts. So select part of your equation. Now, we have to find a to c. A to c is little b, so I know I'm going to have to use b. So c is the side I have. So in this case, I'm going to have to find other angle. By going 180 minus the other 2. So if I take 180 minus 118 minus 22, I end up with 40 degrees. And now I know I'm going to use sine b over little b equals sine c over little c. And step 4, plug in the numbers. Okay, so I'm left with sine 22 over, I'm just going to leave it as little b, equals sine c, that's 40, sine 40, over little c, that's 24. Robert, can you close the door for me, please? And then I'm going to cross multiply. 24, so step 5 is cross multiply. So 24 sine 22 equals b sine 40. And my sixth step is to divide. So 24 sine 22, divided by sine 40. I'm just going to put that in my calculator, and it's going to give me what b equals. So I like to use control divide to make the fraction. 24 sine 22 divided by sine 40. And I get 13.98 is my answer. Okay, we're going to do one more problem in here because I want to do one where it has an angle.
Will you keep that up there?
Yeah. So when you're finished with number 1, there is just one more step if we're going to do an angle. So I'm going to go down to number 9.
Okay.
Once you're done with this, go down to number 9. Shh. I hope you're writing this down because I'm literally doing problems from your homework. I expect all 10 to be done, but you're only going to have to do 8 if you copy down the problem. Like that. And that says sine 24 sine 22 over sine 40. It's hard to read. 24 sine 22 over sine 40. Okay, I've got one more problem to do, and then I'll be done, guys.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to number 9. Okay, I'm going to move this up. I'll put it back up, guys, if you need it. So we're going to do the same thing. First, we label the sides. This is little b, little c, little a. I need to find angle A, so I'm going to have to use A. And C has both the side and an angle, so let's use that. So we've done part 1 and part 2, where we've done step 1 and step 2, sine B over little b, sine C over little c, excuse me, equals sine A over little a. Now we're on step 3. We don't need to find the other angle, so we can skip it. Step 4, we're going to plug it in. Sine 129 over 25 equals sine A over 11. Okay? Make sure that your angles are the capitals and your sides are the lowercase. That's how we tell them apart. So now I'm going to cross multiply 11 sine 129 equals 25 sine A. I'm going to divide by 25. Okay, you can't take the sign with it because it's in front of the 25. So now I'm going to put that in my calculator. I'm going to hit Control Divide to make that fraction. And I'm going to put 11 sine 129 over 25. And I get a funky number. It looks like 0.3419 equals sine of A. Now, to get rid of that sine, we're going to do the inverse sign. Inverse sine 0.3419 equals A. So angle A equals trig inverse sine. And I get 19.99. And you guys can round up to 20 degrees if you want. Okay? So I've done one with an angle and one with a regular side. And you're going to do the other 8 problems on your own this weekend. Okay?